Konnichiwa, street dogs, watashi wa Eriki Kim desu. Alright, so the thought. This thought is about like care. So the word care, actually curate, is actually the same word, very, very interesting. And you know, when you're curating your portfolio, it effectively means, you know, you only choose the pictures that you really care for. And I might even surmise that care, curate, kura comes from heart, like courage. Like in Proto-Indo-European, it's K-E-R, you know, courage, courage, bon courage. So it comes down to the heart. So typically, you know, what you care for is what you really got your heart in for. And back in the day, we used to think that the heart was the source of everything, not the brain. And my thought is, at the end of the day, maybe our stomach and our feet will be the new source of our wisdom. Or I just think the whole body has a hidden wisdom of its own. But anyways, so the thought. The basic thought is, you know, only pursue things in life that you really, really care for, and disregard things that you don't personally care for. Now, how is one to deem what does one care for, what one doesn't care for? And there's no ultimate right or wrong. And I'll give you examples. So Steve Jobs, he really, really cared about great design, above profits and everything. And therefore, at the core of, you know, maybe old school Apple products was really this care of just making the best damn product possible. And now I think that the vision has shifted, that it's more about profit maximization. And I mean, once again, profits, nothing wrong with profits, but it should always be product first and then profit afterwards, no, not the other way around. So if you have a passion for a product, or if you have a passion for creating the best possible something, the profits will follow. So product first, profits later. Now, this is also really important because, you know, I've discovered, even like my apartment building, the reason they created the apartment was to maximize profits. And therefore, as a consequence, you know, the pictures all look nice and shiny, whatever. But actuality, the real thing actually ain't that great. And so it makes me wonder. Liz, what's up?
Hey, how are you?
Good, I like your hair.
Thank you.
So as a consequence, I think it's actually really important to think and consider, like, you know, product first, product above all, and make the best possible whatever, and then profits should be kind of an afterthought or a thing that you do after the fact. Now, I think this is really important because, once again, I think the world could be improved if you focus on your own personal philosophy, your own making the best possible something, and not being so driven by the money motive. Now, once again, money is interesting because it tends to be the quantifier of success or of resources, tools, whatever. But, you know, even if you think about capital, it used to come from kaput, which means head, like how many head of oxen something was worth. So it comes down to food, meat, and that's why I think that currency, cattle, yo, what's up? And also, yeah, capital, money, currency, it all comes down to heads of cattle or oxen. So meat is the best thing to do with your money, and obviously pay rent and stuff like that. So beyond that, as long as you got like clean water, you know, a nice place to live, or I mean, not even a nice place, but like where you don't like starve to death, then I think you're pretty much set. All these other things not so important. You got Wi-Fi connection, you got your laptop, you're pretty much good. And so therefore, as a consequence, you know, life is short, is uncertain. My heuristic to life is very simple. Only work on what you really, really care for, and disregard everything you don't really care for. And whether you care or not is very obvious. Like, one cannot fake enthusiasm, one cannot fake whether one cares for something or not. And to me, this is important because if you really want to succeed in life, one must only work for what one cares for. And if it's either I treat a barbell theory like Nassim Taleb, either full ass it or don't do it at all. No half-assing, full ass or zero ass. There's no in between. So I propose for a much more simple approach to life. Only do what you care for, don't do what you don't care for. You know, don't let money be the primary driver of anything you do. Money is a byproduct. Maybe I have a simple theory, might or might not work, but as long as you pour all of your passion into what you really care for, what you're truly passionate about, and create the best damn product ever, profits will follow. Yo, what up, Street Dogs? Eric Kim. So, this episode brought to you by flowers. So beautiful. Alright, so care. So, care is interesting because in life, you're told what to care for and what not to care for. And I think it's really important that one should only, the word care and courage, cur, kind of the same word. And so one should be permitted to pursue what one cares for and also to disregard what one doesn't care for. Now, I think this is very important because modern society tells us we shouldn't care too much. Right? So, if modern society teaches us that we shouldn't care too much, then what that means is our society, you know, what we create, what we consume, what we produce, what we make, whatever, no one really cares anymore. And so even for myself, I wonder a lot by like why I do certain things, like why do I do certain things X, Y, and Z? And it's actually legitimately because I care. I care for humanity, I care for people, I care for society. And you know, where did I learn to care? Combination of my mama, maybe religion, the society which I grew up. I'm not 100% sure, but there's no legitimate like less legitimate care or more legitimate care. Like for example, back in the day, people thought that Steve Jobs was insane for caring so much about design, and now it's become the ethos, right? You know, back in the day, like John Scully, ex-CEO of Pepsi, he only cared for profits, and he kind of ended up fucking up their company, right? And so yeah, we just need more robust ideals. We need to think more about like honor, pride. You know, there used to be pride in craftsmanship, pride in the product. Even Steve Jobs, his father was a carpenter, and one of the thoughts was, you don't cut corners. Like the back of the cabinet should be as beautiful as the front, because there needs to be some sort of honesty and integrity to the artwork that we produce. And yeah, like you think about your coder, a programmer, a technician, an engineer, anybody, whatever you create is artwork. It's your own artwork. Even I think in the early Apples, the computer circuits inside, where 99% people wouldn't see, were designed to be beautiful. And also, you know, I think like artists, they actually sign their work. They actually sign the interior of the initial cases, which is pretty cool. So my basic thought is, in modern society, you're almost not allowed to or permitted to care too much, because when you care too much about what the majority doesn't care for, then you're seen as weird, aberrant, a misfit, a radical, cannot be trusted, you know, not obedient, whatever. And I think that's what makes me so good, is that I've never been good at listening to others or taking orders or being a follower. And for me, it's out of my personal pride, it's just like my own personal integrity. And I'm also just like really fortunate that I had a mom who encouraged my aberrant behavior. I wasn't, and also simple things too, you know, growing up as a male and stuff like that, I'm like not told what to do, what not to do. So I attribute a lot of that, and also things I'm personally grateful for. Growing up in America, you know, people talk smack about America all the time, but you know, truth be told, for me, I think American culture is probably the least bad culture in the world, insofar much as, I mean, also, once again, it all comes down to what your values are. So I pride myself on individuality, aberrant thinking, kind of more like radicalism, I suppose, and America tolerates that much more than other places. And I think, yeah, individuality is a good thing. And even now, more and more so, I'm starting to see my maybe my like political ideology is starting to shift a little bit more towards kind of like what Nassim Taleb calls deontic libertarianism, deontic, D-O-N-T-I-C, which means like duties. So like a duties-based, robust, ethical system of living a life in terms of, you know, kind of like leave other people alone for maximum liberty and stuff like that. Yeah, so with your life, focus on what you really care for and disregard what you don't really care for. Very, very simple methodology to life.